time, it is definitely Polt who I'm going to be talking about. Oh my god, I just don't know what got into my head to make me not just be wrong, but to continuously commit to the fact that it was Polt that we were casting. It just wouldn't click in my head. The top left hand side, he is going to be the blue Terran player from Envious. It is Polt. And to the upper right, our red Protoss player is Cray Squad Strange. If he is still in Cray Squad, he was before. I'm not sure if he is any longer. I assume he is though. Wardy, how many divine souls do I consume monthly for me to be able to do this every day? It's not that bad. I mean, okay, yesterday was crazy. Like, yesterday was something else. Like 15 hours of casting in a day. I think that actually might be the most I've ever done. But to be fair, if you enjoy what you're doing, it's not so bad. If you enjoy it, it's not so bad. So, you guys in the chat help a lot as well. I actually said this last night, but when you guys are chatting away and having discussions and stuff, and the fact I actually can see you there, it helps a lot. So, glad that you guys are here and join us. Very happy that you guys are joining us, obviously, and this is the SGL Cup. If you do enjoy the stream, don't forget that follow button is down below. You can see when we go live in the future. Keep up to date with all the content we bring you. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays we bring you the Leifang Cup through the day, and on Thursdays and Fridays the SGL Cup. Sundays we bring you Go Firstly 2, and that's just daytime casts. From the evenings we have absolutely just so much more as well. It varies a lot more in the evenings. We don't have as much of a set schedule, but we do. Well, we have a lot of days, especially this month, where we have 2 casts per day, where we have a daytime cast and then an evening cast. So busy, hit that follow button to see when we go live in the future. And of course, if you're really enjoying the stream, you can support by subscribing, by donating, by cheering, by Patreoning. Check them out if you enjoy the stream and want to support. Look at this, guys. This is what I mean, right? This is why I got him confused. Polt goes CC first into 3 racks. You know, because this is the sort of build I expect Polt to do, because Polt likes this sort of build. You know? See, I'm not even that crazy. This is the sort of build Polt likes to do, and yeah, I just really thought that, I was Polten the last time we saw him on Frost. But yeah, I mean, as I was saying, in a live versus Strange, this is the sort of stuff Polt likes to do. Aggressive bio timings to just catch his opponents off guard, punish his opponents. You know, I gave a lot of examples for TvZ, for example, but even, you know, TvP examples. Summer Championship versus Neeb in the semi-finals. For example, say, take Frozen Temple, big bio attack before Medivacs, etc. Does a lot of damage, takes a lead, wins the game. He likes these sort of attacks. They're not things which people do a lot of the time, and that actually makes them even more powerful, because it can be even harder to really deal with them. You know, it makes it so much harder to really deal with them. I'm just going to be seeing this Marine from Polt just patrolling off to the side. This Forge up here with +1 on the way, being Corona boosted at the moment. I'm going to see another Gateway or 2 being added on. It's interesting to see the Forge with +1 so early. Resonating Glaives on the way up as well, and actually, for me, this starts to look like a very aggressive attack out of Strange, where he's just going to go with +1 and Resonating Glaives, and just really try to just end the game super quickly. And there we go, 5 extra gates coming up. What the +1 allows you to do is it allows you to suddenly start 2-shotting the Marines instead of 3-shotting them. So it's almost like pre-patch Adepts, where they used to 2-shot Marines, right? But now with the +1 upgrade, they'll 2-shot Marines again. Polt scans he sees on the natural. Well, no gases might be somewhat of a tell. One Adept here as well, Pylon coming down. The scan that would have been better placed would have been in the main base somewhere. See the Abyss, though, what would you see? Robo Twilight, another gate. You might not have caught these, depends on the position of the scan. It's actually very well placed, because you think about it. You want information, you scan around this area here. And he knows that Polt didn't go for a early Reaper. He saw that, you know, he saw it was CC first, so he knows Polt is not going to jump into this location either with a Reaper or anything. Marine going to swap this Warp Prism, starting to come across the map already, though. So that Patrolling Marine to the top side is already being able to kind of spot so much here. And that is great information right away, as we'll see this Warp Prism. Well, where's he going to go? There's a wall at the front, going to finish this up with another bunker. Well, there's a slight gap, but you're not going to want to go through there. But there we go, main base attack. Lots of Adepts warping in. Now, Combat Shields and Stims are about to finish up here. Combat shields will make us different again. Does he? I don't think he two-shots Marines any longer as they get combat shields up, right? No, he goes back to free-shotting them, so the +1 is sort of negated by combat shields coming in so early. And so these 3 racks of production is starting to work out. At the same time, though, a couple of Adepts get into mineral line and start to do a lot of damage. Another set of Adepts going to warp in over here, and now they're just going to be all over the place right now. They're going to shade into the main mineral line. Polt's already lost 9 workers. Looks as though he might lose a few more. Nope, the Adept's going to cancel their shade, and what does he do? Going to start elevatoring them out, although he sort of missed a few of them there. And needs to pull away as well. No point elevatoring out if they're still fighting. Lifts up and saves one of them at the very, very end. A few more Adepts warping in here and just going to be seeing still a couple of Adepts down the natural, having a bit of a fun time. This bunker's actually going to go down, which opens up the natural, entrance to the natural expansion. So going to be coming in. There's another bunker here. He's actually going to cancel. He'll fight this bunker. He'll kill off the Marauders inside as well, I imagine. I mean, the +1 still does help to some extent. It still helps you do more damage. It's just, if the combat shield's up, you don't two-shot the Marines anymore. Although, now that they've stimmed a couple of times, he will start to two-shot them. And that might make a bit of a difference here. Dev's going to shield on top of the army, and Strange is continuing to pick away at these Marines and Marauders. Polt is running out of units, and he is going to have to GG out. Polt there is in the rest of the groups here for the SGL. Well, I would tell you, but I've actually forgotten myself. If you give me a moment or two, I'll double check though and tell you guys. They're pretty sick of groups. I think Group D is stacked, if I remember correctly. So yeah, let's just have a quick look. So Group C. So next week on Thursday, we'll have Hydra, Sleep, Sort of, and Maxed. That's a pretty cool group. Lots of ZVZ though. But on Group D, Bjorn, Ryung, Nado, and Jim. That is a week today on Friday, September the 23rd. That is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Looking forward to that one, guys. Do not miss it. Obviously, the playoffs will take place 2 weeks yesterday, so 13 days from now for the playoffs. And I'm going to try and convince the organizer to let us have the playoffs in such a way that it's actually more, a little bit better to watch, because right now, the playoffs last time sucked. All the matches played at the same time. We missed a game of the semi-finals, and it just wasn't a good stream. The group stages were genuinely better. So I'm going to try and convince the organizer to set up the quarterfinals so that we can cast them, just cast everything. I actually don't know why we couldn't start like an hour or so early and just cast each quarterfinal one by one. 4 best of 3s, then do the 2 semis and the finals. Because you think about it, like 4 best of 3s, like say Leifeng Cup playoffs, we cast 1, 2, 3, we cast at least like the same amount in the Leifeng Cup playoffs. I mean, to be fair, think of it this way, 4 best of 3s and 3 best of 5s is not that much more than 6 best of 3s, right? Which we do in the group stages. So 4 best of 3s are equal to 4 best of 3s. Then 2 best of 3s against 3 best of 5s. So obviously it's a little bit longer, but it's the playoffs, right? It's the playoffs. That's the kind of difference. It's crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I really feel as though it should be reasonable. I don't think it's that ridiculous a thing to look to do. We could start a little bit earlier as well. Especially when there's no GSL or SSL or Pro League or anything. Like, the reason this event actually started so late was to avoid GSL casts, SSL casts, etc. But it's all over now, Just an opinion anyway. Just my thoughts. I think you guys would agree, right? More StarCraft we get to watch, the better. I think so. Anyways, probe coming around the top side from Strange. Early on in this game, do we even introduce the players? I don't think so. I went on a bit of a rant. It's Polt from Envious to the bottom left-hand side, our blue Terran. And his opponent to the bottom right-hand side is the red Protoss Strange, who's up a game in this best-of-3 series. Single probe going to be moving forwards here from Strange, having a little bit of a look to see what's going on and what is happening. Going to pop up this ramp. And just going to see that it's 3 racks coming in. So once again, Polt going to go for a bio-based opener. Twilight Council comes in well before the Robo once again. We'll see if this is going to be something sneaky. I think it might be the Dark Shrine, actually. Look at this, Probe already patrolling. When you see the Twilight coming in before the Robo, it is very suggestive of aggression. Or, aggression is probably the best way to state it. I like this as well. Dark Shrine as follows again. If you think about it in terms of a scan, if a scan comes right into the main, he might spot the Twilight, the Robo. But less likely to spot a Dark Shrine here, unless he scans right to the left-hand side, which would be a bit of a weird scan. So yeah, but the Twilight before the Robo is very suggestive of aggression, because if you want to rush out the Twilight, there's generally a reason you want that upgrade to come in quickly, or you want it to come in as fast as possible, the Dark Shrine to come in as fast as possible, rather than being safe, getting the Robo up, the Warp Prism, the Observer, whatever. Can be seen Mothership Core just sat overhead as we have the Warp Prism on the way out. Reaper from Polt is checking out for proxies all over the map at the moment. And Polt will see if he was going to be playing as safe as Alive did earlier by adding on Engineering Bay and Archie turrets as well. For now, just a factory starting up. I mean, this is actually the stage of this build order where you should add an Engineering Bay on. After the factory, Engineering Bay comes next, so he's not far away from it. The question is, does he build it or not? Warp Prism will go straight across the map as the Dark Shrine will finish warping in just a few moments' time. This Reaper, though, is not going to see anything just yet. We'll not see a third base, but that could mean so much at this point. It means only 4.5 minutes in game. As I'm going to see this Warp Prism going over to the left-hand side. So Warp Prism heading over to the left. There's a couple of DTs to start warping in. There's the Engineering Bay. Halfway done. I mean, you won't kill the Engineering Bay or stop it from coming up, but it can definitely delay turrets from coming up. Polt right now has one scan available, and we talked about this in the last series where, between Strange and Alive, where one scan doesn't really cut it when you've got these DTs splitting up and going all over the place. Straight into the main base we go. One DT will come down to the natural where already a turrets are starting to build. Scan there is going to catch one DT as he pulls away. Polt does have stim already. Oh, he goes back into range of the scan. Another scan comes down. He's going to lose the Warp Prism. Oh, wow. Well, that was just a mistake by Strange, straight up. I mean, that was just bad play, right? I mean, getting his DTs caught, letting the Warp Prism go down as well. That was just a mistake. So DTs had a lot of potential there with no turrets being up, forcing scans. Just didn't follow through. Nice scans out of Polt. In the end, he did have enough of them. He had 3. I mean, he still forced 3 scans with the Dark Templar, but not quite what he was hoping for. And the thing is as well, when you lose 3 DTs like this, and you lose the Warp Prism too, you lose your pressure on the Terran side of the map. And so the Terran doesn't have anything to stay at home for. Right? You know, there's no reason to stay home and defend. Because you've killed the Warp Prism. So Polt may as well just go across the map at this point with these Bio Forces and just go and attack. And try and pick off the third or natural. And Strange, because he invested into those units and lost them, he doesn't have them in his army anymore. And he's not getting value from them either. So this is Polt going to really have a very strong time in moving across the map as he looks to even up this series. There's a DT will deny or delay a little bit. Scan comes down instantly. Polt should just be saving scans. You won't see any mules in this mineral line, or very few mules in the mineral line 1. So just saving scans one at a time or so just to make sure he can clean up Dark Temple as he crosses the map when he isn't going to have turrets, etc. in range. You'll see a nice force field will buy a little bit of time to begin with. Polt might just lift up and go into the main base though. Or just over there. I guess that also works. Didn't really think about that one. Although that one force field already does buy him a bit of time to get these pylons up at the front. And here we go. Now he's going to stim in. Force field doesn't come down. Overcharges will come down, but there's just no gateway units here to really back this up either. 3 overcharges actually already used. There's quite a lot to use on just these units. And another force field coming in. Another DT will move forwards as well. Ooh, Marauder catches the Sentry. He'll get away though. The overcharges keeping him pushed back, and Polt, he'll reinforce with a couple more medivacs, a few more Bions. He stims in now. Another overcharge. He has bought Strange enough time to get a Colossus up. As Polt will still sort of poke and prod, try and find a bit more damage. He's got his own third base up and starting to get running now as well. A few SCVs beginning to transfer over there. DT comes in, another scan gets picked off quite simply. No overcharge energy left over. Wouldn't mind going to try and move a bit further forward. He has the stim in, and there's just nothing really to protect this Colossus. You know, it doesn't have range just yet either, does it? No, he doesn't. So no range. That means it's just fairly easy to attack into this for the most part, although just push it back for now. Polt will stim back in. Nice kill on a couple of pylons, and a cannon which just got built. No cancels there at all. So that's just 350 minerals down the drain from our Protoss player. That's on 2 cannons once again, another pylon. Still units just gathering together from Polt, still reinforcing. Now a single drop in the main base and just starting to slightly pull his opponent apart with these drops. Well, that just might be the distraction he needs to really get an attack going towards the third base, for example. Or in towards this natural expansion like he's been trying up until now. A couple of probes killed as the Widowmine goes down in that mineral line. A few units going to unload here now as well. And at the same time, Polt goes in towards the third base. I mean, there's a few cannons in position, but even cannons don't do too much here, you know. Like, you know, they die pretty quickly. They die faster than you think. Yeah, they do some damage, but they still die pretty quick, and you can just see here now as well, he backs away, continues to fight the Adepts, dropping the main base, just trading with some Stalkers. The +1 attack upgrade from our Terran player will definitely help him out during these fights. And more units just gathering up to the south side. Polt is still just controlling this map and really dictating the pace of the game. Strange is just in ultra defensive mode. He is one game up in this series, so losing out here isn't the end of the world for him. But obviously, he would prefer to 2-0 than have to go to game number 3. It's going to be tough to recover from this one. That being said, he is about to take an upgrade lead. 1-1 upgrades, double forge. Going to start to pay off for him. So getting that 1-1 finish now. Resonating Glaive's on the way as well. He already has Blink, of course. And he has gone into Colossus Tech. And he has started to build that number up. He's been Colossus Tech for a while. So he's going up to 3 Colossi with this next Colossus. And so his army is getting there. You know, he's reaching the goals in the mid game, which he wants to, you know, check off. He's, you know, getting 3 Colossi. Twilight upgrades are up. Double Forge is rolling and giving him good upgrades. So Strange is sort of there. He just has to keep on defending. His real disadvantage right now is just in sheer kind of unit number. And, well, I mean, he's been doing okay so far. I think the Liberators might very much so be a factor to change that, because the Liberators will kind of really be kind of like a Stalker check on this kind of Protoss army. Like, do you have enough Stalkers? You know, if you do, then yes, you can fight me. But if you don't, then you're going to have a really tough time right now. He's going to try and take a nice fight. I like this from the left-hand side. The Liberator is actually a little bit out of position. I'm just going to see the stim in. A little bit of a dance between the players. Neither of them want to commit to the fight just yet. Liberator's going to unsiege, and actually he's going to go up towards the third base. I like this because he can siege up over this ramp, and this more or less forces the fight. Or he just siege wrong. Actually, siege is there. Well, I mean, that's a little bit more of a passive siege, I guess, but it can work out too. Stalker's going to blink into the Widow Mines. Yeah, the Stalker count is not going to pass the test that I was talking about. Stalkers go down, obviously running them into Widow Mines or blinking into Widow Mines doesn't help either. And that's just the synergy of Widow Mines and Liberators. You want to get in and up close to shut down the Liberators, but the Widow Mines protect you as the Terran player. So really nicely positioned here by Polt, forces the fight, and a fight which is going to basically win him game number 2. He already more or less won the game, I think, at this point, but it's going to be the fight that closes things out and really just confirms his victory here, as this third base is more or less undefendable now. Widow Mines will move a bit further forwards, try to protect the Liberators once again, one of them going just a bit too far forwards. And you can see the third base going down here. A few SCVs going down across the map too. A little bit of a DT play into the third base, but again, nothing really too major in comparison to what Polt is achieving on the right-hand side of the map currently. A couple more probes going down, a couple more pylons will fall, and Polt is just cleaning on up. Another assimilator to the right-hand side will go down here, and Strange trying to find a way in, trying to find a way to engage into this, but he's just not going to find it, not just yet. A few Liberators on siege will back away slightly, and these Bioforces as well collect to the right-hand side. Another few workers going down, DT back into this mineral line. I mean, it's frustrating, but he'll just scan and clean it out. And it's just very little damage being done by Strange in comparison to what Polt has just done on this side of the map. Again, he's killed off the third base. 20 or so workers went down during the fight as well. And yeah, his bio army is looking a little bit worse for wear right now, in the sense that it's just not very much of it left over. But he's going to pull back over to the left-hand side. All these other bio units are going to join up together from Polt as well. And everything is just going to join up together and get ready to go once again. This is Polt for the first time in a long time actually reinforcing. He hasn't reinforced for ages with that army. You can just see it by how many units he has ready to go here. So he's just going to go across the map, and this is going to be a fight which can do so much. I actually think he leaves these units behind on purpose in a way, because he's probably just saying, well, if you attack me with some more DTs, etc., I've got units fairly nearby to kind of respond to that. So, and maybe, you know, maybe he did just forget them, but that might be a reason to leave them behind as well. It's not necessarily just a little bit of a mistake there, as we're going to be seeing. He is just moving to the right side. You can see Strange sort of looking to try and get some picks with the Stalkers. If he's going to win a fight, then he's going to have to try and get some picks off. By having the Stalkers out front, he might be looking for, say, the Liberators to be caught out of position. One thing we didn't mention is that Liberator range is up, and that's just going to make this even more difficult for a Protoss player to fight into. The Liberator sieging from so far back in this Bioforce. You can just see how powerful it is. Look at this Protoss army. It just can't get close to this. We'll finally blink around the backside. The Liberators will reposition themselves. Bio will stim in again, and this time I think we're going to see a committed fight as the Stalkers just drop down. The Colossi will not be far behind it, and that will be game number 2 going the way of Polt. He ties up this series 1 game apiece. So game 3 of Polt versus Strange. Let's do this. To the top left-hand side, our red Terran player from Envious is going to be Polt. And he's going to be playing against the blue Protoss player to the bottom right side of the map. It is Strange. 1-1 now in this series. Strange already lost his first match of the day to Alive, so winning here would be a really good way for him to try and stay up in this group. Otherwise, things are looking, well, things are looking kind of to be a bit all over the place for him if he doesn't manage to win here, basically. And he sort of has to try and pull out this victory. I mean, if he doesn't, then he'll be 0-2, and his only way to move through the group then is if he beats E-Laser, and then Polt, so one of Polt and Alive would have to go 3-0, And then Elias would have to beat the guy who doesn't go 3-0, obviously. And it'd be like a 3-way tie on 1-2. So that's how Strange is going to have to hope for this now. If he loses this, of course, if he wins this, then he'll be 1-1, which means he could still go 2-1, which wouldn't be so bad for trying to move through the group. Yesterday we had a three people on 2-1, and it came down to map score. So that's something we can talk about a little bit later on as the game develops, as the series develops, as the group develops, I guess. There we go. Got there in the end. I was just going to be seeing the SCV just moving back home. I'm going to be replaced by a Reaper on this side of the map, as Polt just looks to scout here early on. Twilight Council is starting to build up over to the right hand side, and immediately this Reaper getting pushed away. Ooh, overcharge pops, doesn't kill the Reaper, then that's a bit of a waste of 50 energy then. You pop that 50 energy, it's useful, it's worthwhile, because if it kills the Reaper, it is going to deny the vision and kind of further scouting, but obviously if you don't kill the Reaper, then it's just definitely not worthwhile at all. It's not worth it to just push it away, because it's going to be pushed away anyways eventually. So that's a little bit of a shame there out of Strange, a little bit of a mistake by him. Am I English? Yes, guys, I am from England. I'm from the north of England. And, yeah. What was the song? It was Mother, Power of Stella's... It was Mother by Lila Bloom, Power of Stella's piano dub. It's a bit of an awkward one. If you type in, like, Mother, Power of Stella, you'll probably get it. Probably locate it. So, Reaper just moving around a little bit. We're going to see a couple extra gates coming down Robo 2. It was an early Twilight Council, but it is only going to be for Blink. Now, he still may try and go for quite a lot of Blink pressure here in the early stages of the game. So, we'll be seeing if he wants to really move across the map with this, or what he wants to get up to. Polt himself, well, he's got into, like, a bit of a weird setup, actually. He's waiting for 2 Atomize to finish, and I think he's a little bit unsure himself as to what he really wants to get going for himself. What was that? Was that the Reaper in the main base again? Just the Reaper coming in to scout. What did he actually see? Twilight, he's seen everything, so Polt gets to scout, sort of knows the setup of his opponent, and will know then the possibilities of what could be going on. And his job is going to consist of 2 Widow Mines and 4 Marines, so unfortunately the rest of the Marines, they didn't quite make the cut. I'm just going to sit back at home. We're going to see a Viking on the way. Isn't that interesting? TvP to see a Viking super early in the game? It's weird. I wonder if he just wants to push away a Warp Prism or something. I do find it very interesting, instead of like another Medevac or so. Nice Widowmine connection. Target fired onto the probes there in the center to make sure he gets more than just 1 or 2 kills. And, oh, it's going to be close again. Not quite going to go off, though. And actually goes off into the extractor. Marines unload as well to get a couple more kills. 6 kills in total. Not a bad Widowmine drop, though. 6 kills and still a couple of Widowmines here and there, which could maybe go off again if Strange is not going to get back in time with the Observer, although he will. And he cleans this up, so 6 probes killed. But Medevac stays alive, and 4 Marines stay alive too, so there's definitely some benefits to look at here. As we see Stimpack about halfway done, Failed CC also dropping down from Polt as he goes up in towards free base play to continue on in the game. Reactor is going to be finishing very shortly on this starport, and some extra barracks just starting to be added on in here as well, so going up to 5 racks, very standard stuff. Polt's mid-game infrastructure just, well, on the way up. There's that Third Nexus coming in from Strange, so Third Nexus on the way, and he goes into that Resonating Glaives too, and a Forge. So very, again, standard things for him to go into the mid-game with. Looking for that Stalker Adept-based composition with probably a few Immortals mixed in. And that'll be how he plays out the early mid-game until he switches up into Colossi, etc. as the game continues. There's the Robobay coming down. Strange actually likes to go into the Colossi nice and quickly, whereas a lot of players do like to stay on the Stalker Adept and be somewhat aggressive for a while. Hard to play though, because when you stay on Stalker Adept, what happens when you stay on Stalker Adept is you get into this position where you have to keep on trading, because you're playing a fairly low-tech composition that works well in high numbers. So the idea is you warp in a lot of it early, you trade, and then you warp in a lot more, and you keep on trading. And what that does is you keep the Widowmine count down, you keep the Liberator count low, and it allows you to stay on that sort of low-tech composition. But if the Terran player isn't being traded against and he keeps Liberators alive, and all of a sudden he ends up with like 4 to 6 Liberators on your side of the map, then you're going to have a tough time. So that's when things become a little bit troubling for you. As we're going to be seeing this scan coming down. And Polt just continue to have a look around. A couple more Stalkers just going to be warping in here. towards the third base. Couple Widowmines coming up the ramp. We're going to see one getting taken down immediately. Nice force fields from Strange. He's just looking to buy time right now. Overcharge comes down on that front pylon to begin with. That's a waste. The back pylon will buy him a bit more time as well. I guess with the Widowmines, that makes this a little bit more engageable for himself here. You see a couple of force fields. Once again, are pretty good to slow down a lot of this bio army from pushing forwards. You see the sentries pulling back. A really nice micro out of Strange. Look at this. These two very low health sentries just staying alive right now. Another couple of stalkers warping in once again. He's going to blink forwards here now. He's going to try and keep on picking off just a few more units. Polt backs away up the left-hand side. So Polt backs away up the left-hand side, and we do just see Polt here join up together with just a few more units. But again, Strange is defended, and he gets into this next stage of the game with Colossi coming out, where he's just going to start feeling that little bit more comfortable than he's been feeling so far. So Strange doing a good job of defending there. It's not an easy army to defend with. It is very reliant on hitting good force fields and having good blinks. That's exactly what he did. He engaged there perfectly, where he really lost so little. You look at this. Units lost. 1 Stalker. Strange has been playing super efficiently this game so far. 1 Stalker loss, actually really impressive in that fight, I have to say. Really well played by Strange. Actually, I mean, everything was perfect, right? He pulled those sentries back with low health as well. Everything was perfect. Really, really just truly beautiful play by our Protoss player. A few adepts come in to the top side of the map. I'm still intrigued by this Viking. I know it's just patrolling here to the side, and obviously, you know, we can sort of see what it's designed to do. It's designed to push this Warp Prism away and to keep this Warp Prism from flying on through and flying on in. But I still think it's very... I still think it's very unique. I still think it's very different to what you'd expect. You see this Viking start to fight this. The Warp Prism will fly on by. We'll get in towards the main base. A few adepts going to start unloading, and one SCV goes down. Another SCV will go down very shortly as well. Viking going to continue trying to chase off to the left-hand side. I mean, I guess he's going to kill the Warp Prism just... Oh, no, okay. Another Warping comes in, but the Warp Prism goes down, so hey, the Vikings worked out. It is only the Viking that's killed the Warp Prism here, so... I mean, yes, the drop still gets in, but it's then shut down, you know, it doesn't get out, it doesn't continue throughout the game, which I guess is maybe the purpose of this, because a lot of the time nowadays we'll see the Warp Prism coming in, attacking, getting out, and then going in again, and again, and again. And you'll see Terran players might be in a really good position across the map, but all of a sudden, continued depth harassment has picked off 20, 30, 40 workers back at home. And so with that Viking, you just help to shut that down easily, and without really kind of any trouble at all. A little bit of Marine Marauder Force going to stem over the left-hand side. You have a bit of a look to see what's going on. Look to see if he can move down in this direction. And Strange just going to be... Well, it's sat ready to defend, honestly. A few more Stalkers moving forwards as well. Guardian Shield going to pop. And there's them Colossi moving forward. Stalkers blink forwards very early in this fight, though. It's a bit of a weird one. Polt's going to have to back away. Polt's supply in general are looking pretty good right now. 163 to 129. His army is looking very good. He's a little bit behind without an armor upgrade, but look at the Liberators. He's got the Liberators up, and he is very ready to fight a later game army of the Protoss player, so he's very ready to fight this. It's interesting, isn't it, that sometimes players will build Liberators, sometimes players will build Vikings. It's interesting that players will kind of swap between them when playing against the same sort of composition. And so some players won't do both, but some players will only do one. And it's just interesting how both players kind of prefer different things. Liberator just going to fire a shot off, and these units out of Strange just going to be pushing on up, looking to see what's going to be going on. Adepts are going to shade on through in towards the natural expansion. A few Marines and Marauders going to stim over to that direction as well, and it's going to be seeing these Adepts just shade in towards that mineral line. Here you go, Bayou's going to commit on in, and a lot of these Adepts are going to end up going down. So a lot of Adepts going to go down. I think that's a big mistake by Strange, actually. He kills 13 workers, and he does get in to start picking off Liberators, but I just feel as though he's thrown away so much. Adepts have gone down, the Stalker's taking heavy damage too. And actually, if I'm Polt right now, I think you just get across the map and start doing some damage, although there's Adepts still in the mineral line. Look at this, 26 workers now killed, doubling the workers he's killed from the initial attack. Now it's only 3 more Adepts, so 29 workers killed here, Polt, leaving those Adepts alone just a little bit too early on. As now we're going to be seeing these Bioforces again. Moving over to this left-hand side, Polt is just going to leave these Liberators unsieged momentarily. Now he's going to siege up on top of the army. Liberators are trying to be targeted down by the Stalkers, but you can just see as they siege up, the damage is insane, and Polt is going to push this back. The sentries are down, the Stalkers are down. That means the Colossi will go down as well. And when you lose the entire army like this, it generally only ends up going one way, and that's going to be in favor of the Terran player. You can see the supplies overall are quite even, 117 to 100. But that's because Polt just lost a lot of workers. And so, well, he won, he lost a lot of workers, but he won this fight convincingly. So his army supply is just about, more or less, exactly double that of his opponent, which means as he attacks on in here, he's going to have way more. A couple of Void Rays coming in are interesting, because actually, there isn't too much anti-air in this army. The Marine count fairly low, mostly Marauders. So the Void Rays could kind of add a little something to this. Adepts across the map again, trying to attack, and a lot of them doing some damage, but that's even more army supply, which Strange is basically down. During this fight, we're going to see this Nexus falling. And if your Adept's going to shade on through in towards this mineral line once again, I'm just going to be seeing Polt slowly pushing in from the left-hand side in towards this third base. We'll slowly push in towards this, and I mean the damage he's already done is great, but he has to keep doing more. He has to keep this momentum up because it is now down to only 18 SCVs remaining, so he has very little economy at home. So it's imperative that he more or less tries to end this game right now. Void Rays come in, and they're going to be trying to fight. The thing is, again, there's just such little anti-air. Polt now making only Marines at home, realizing those Marines are going to be very important to help get rid of those Void Rays in the sky. If he can't get rid of those Void Rays, he might still lose this game, because it doesn't matter how much army you have. If none of it kills the Void Rays will just win the fight. See this Warp Prism going to move up to the top side and have a little bit of a look to see what is going on. Getting ready to warp in again. Widowmine will spot this as Polt pulls back. More Marines on the way, more Void Rays being produced by Strange. It really is just keeping him in the game right now, this Void Ray account. So, still just building this up, and Probe actually going to come in, fight a Marine to the right side. Currently 56 probes to 15 STVs, but the economy still somewhat even, I imagine, because we just seen a bunch of mules dropping down. There they are. Obviously, gas income heavily favouring Strange, though, 780 to 110. Widowmines will help to clean this out, and this time the Adepts will go down here in the third base. And Polt with a lot more Marines now. A few more Medivacs too to help keep those Marines alive in this upcoming fight. He's still 50, 60 army supply ahead, but down a set of upgrades. Still needs to make sure this fight is good for him. Has repaired up his Liberators. How well do Liberators trade with Voids? I know Voids will absolutely destroy Liberators, but would the Liberators get decentish damage onto the Void Rays before they die, or what is that? I'm not actually really too sure. I think I guess if they're clumped up, they'll do okay. But I think in general, you do want to make sure you have more than just the Liberators, because Liberators on their own just aren't going to be enough, I don't think. Going to be seeing these Liberators sieging here, and just going to be jumping on into this again in a few moments' time. You can see that circle just set around, getting ready to go. A scan comes down as well out of Polt, so just going to scan here, and just going to be seeing these few Voiders just looking to keep on pushing this away. You can see Polt is just a little bit afraid to really attack into this. That one Colossus in the back will be scary. He can't just stim his Marines in because of that. Here you go, Liberators coming forwards, looking to try and get a shot or two off to instigate this fight. A few Liberators will siege. Here we go, we're going to start pushing forwards. Polt sieges up more Liberators, just backs away. Still playing so cautiously here right now, as we see Strange just starting to back away once more. So Strange starts to back away again. A few more Vikings on the way, and Colossus at the front goes down instantly. Here we go, the fight begins. Liberators will siege up. He's just going to rely on his Marine count on the ground, as Strange is getting rid of the Liberators quickly, though. That's the power of the Void Rays. Oh no, attack from the right-hand side as well, though. Didn't see that on the map, and that might be the difference here for Polt. Marines coming in. Void's taking a lot of damage. They do use the ledge to get away, though. Still Polt, 50 army supply ahead, and he is chasing this down. He did lose a lot of his Liberators, though, but he just has so many Marines now left over. So many Marines now left over. And we're going to be seeing this attack once again, moving down over this right-hand side. This fourth base, which has been set up by Strange, is going to be picked away, so that's going to fall. You're going to see these couple of Vikings coming in. Oh, he picks off a Void Ray. Nice little kite in there. And that's one of the things you can definitely do against Void Ray, is kite, because the Vikings outrange and the Voids are slow. You can see it here. Nice pickoffs. Oh, the two Vikings are just doing so much damage. It's incredible how much they've just done. There's the Stalkers blinking forwards to protect. But actually just getting rid of two Void Rays might just give Polt all he needs to push on in from the right-hand side. And here we go. Another Colossus about to pop on that Robo. Don't think it matters. It'll pop out, join the fight. Polt still playing it safely, just still being careful. Doesn't want to run into and lose this, because he still only has 11 workers of his own back at home. He's been on such low economy for so long. He does have quadruple mule, which is maybe more or less what's keeping him in the game for now. Quadruple mule might be his saviour here, as Polt actually bullies his way into the natural expansion. Trying to fight once again DT gonna come forwards too as a couple of force fields come down. Pults out of anti-air, needs more Marines. More Liberators building as well. Can't believe he's staying in the game for so long with just mules. I mean, again, the thing is he's mining so much less gas than Strange, and also Strange's extra income is not actually kind of that big because he's actually not got bases to mine from. So while he has a lot more workers, his income hasn't been that much higher because he hasn't had the fresh bases to mine from because Polt's been down those. So that's actually a big impact on the game as well. And it does change a lot, it really does. As units gathering up together, Polt's still just trying to fight his way through this here. As we're going to be seeing units gathering. And it looks as though Polt's going to come down at the left-hand side of the map to have a look to see what's going to be going on. Have a look to see what's going to be happening. Look to see if he can maybe end this game in the next few moments. Scan comes down. Polt, I guess maybe a DT in the base? I'm not too sure. I can't imagine what else he would scan for that unless it was a mistake. As Polt just going to keep moving forwards. The Liberators and Vikings going to be sieging up the Liberators. Here we go. This time he fights in. The Vikings will help against the Void Rays in the sky. The Void Rays will fall. And as the Void Rays fall, it should be enough to just continue through this on the ground. The Colossi on their own are not going to be able to keep on fighting. It's very close though. And actually Polt is going to get pushed away. Only Medivacs remaining. A few Marines on their own don't fight the Colossi. And that's a pretty major issue. See it, Orbital Command moving down to the bottom left side, just trying to find another base to mine from. There's a few reinforcements. As Polt stems forward, you get a Colossus, and these Bio Forces in low numbers just trade so well. 2 Colossi go down. Polt is down 39 supply to 61, but he's probably going to win the game because against the army advantage which he holds, overcharged though and a couple of cannon stack defense will hold this 4th base, and Strange keeps on mining. Another scan over here. I think that's another DT he's just picked off. It was 5 DT kills before, now it's 6. So it is that DT that keeps running into that base. 8 SCVs remain from Polt. His economy is so low right now. His economy is really hurting. We're going to be seeing a few Marines and Marauders trying to push in once again. Trying to see what they can do. We see Stalkers doing a little bit of damage, pushing forwards, and we're going to see Zealots and Adepts going forwards and seeing what they can do. These Adepts looking to try and jump on top of these units, and actually he might be able to force the fight. Polt might have to just lift up and leave. Lifts up and starts to back away. A couple more Marines jumping in there. The Medivac's already used their boost. He has to pick up unit after unit. He needs another boost. He really does. He gets it just about in time to start pulling to the top side. Polt gonna unload. Strange just with... Well, now he's actually going... It's really interesting because now he goes into this composition we talked about earlier in the game. Sort of just Stalker Adept. And the Stalker Adept can trade so well in sort of lower numbers, and the upgrades as well is really kind of a factor here. +3, +2 for Strange against just +1/+1 for the Terran player. As Polt pulls down to the left-hand side once more, Adepts are shading forwards, looking to see what's going on. Polt's going to be moving through and just going to be looking to see if he can attack into this base, but I don't think he can. He's still just muling away to his left-hand side. Army supplies are getting closer, and that's not a good thing for Polt because his upgrades do not favor him here. He's going to have to really micro his heart out as he tries to fight that first Adept, pulling back a few more Liberators on the way up. I mean, those are the power units out of Polt, which will really help him to keep on fighting. Stepping away once again, leaving Marauders in the front. Nice little bit of micro, picking up 1 unit at a time. I mean, that's the sort of stuff he has to do right now to try and stay in this, but Strange is going to start pushing this back, blinking forwards. Goodbye, Medivacs. Stalker count's too good. GG has Polt. Strange takes game number 3, and he beats Polt 2 games to 1.